Hey everybody, I'm the real king of BDC, and today I'm actually going to be talking about a very interesting character from a very interesting show, more specifically American Dad. Now, I'm sure a decent amount of you know what American Dad is, but to give you the quick rundown, American Dad, much like Family Guy, was also made by Seth MacFarlane. However, American Dad is very different from Family Guy in multiple ways. It's similar, sure, but it's a very different show. For instance, American Dad is much more political than Family Guy. Though I'm sure you could have garnered that from the title because it's called American Dad. It's mostly about a patriotic dad and his family. Oh, and also they have an alien. Yeah, don't ask why. Anyway, the specific character from this show that I'm actually going to be talking about is Rodger, the alien that I was talking about a couple seconds ago. Yeah, Rodger's a very interesting character because at first I liked Rodger, but now I think he's very, very, very annoying. And I feel like he's holding American Dad back in more ways than one. That's just me, though. Not sure if anybody else feels this way, but to get into Rodger's character, he's selfish, he's egotistical, he's narcissistic, he only really cares about himself, and only sometimes does he care about other people. Um, Plus, he's not exactly a fun person to be around. He's very annoying. He'll get on your nerves very quickly. Um, he has a very bad habit of telling bad jokes and very bad one-liners, and dated ones at that. Um, in the first episode, or rather the first season specifically, they do talk about how Rodger came to Earth in the first place. In later seasons, they do reiterate on it, at least a little bit, but for the most part his origin story stays the same. He came to Earth after crash landing there from his home planet. That's basically the gist of the story. And as for the rest of the story, well, the CIA, they were hunting him down and Stan was tasked to try and kill him. Right. Stan actually ended up getting his life saved by Rodger, as it turns out. So ever since then, he owed him a life debt. And ever since then, he's been living with the Smiths. And now, he's been living with them for so long that he's considered a member of their family. And they regard him as a Smith, which is why he's known as Rodger Smith in the show. Rodger is a very funny character, or at least in my opinion he used to be. He's not as funny as he used to be. Sure, he had a lot of corny one-liners and a lot of dated lines in, like, the first, 4 seasons of the show. But he was still funny. He was a very funny character. He had a lot of wacky antics. The dude absolutely loves fashion. He's all into fashion. He's a fashionista, you would say. Though then again, he'd have to be because he's an alien, and in every episode he has to disguise himself in order to make sure that he doesn't get found out by the CIA. There are a few times where he almost gets caught, but for the most part, he usually lucks out. Usually. But yeah, because of this, Rodger has actually garnered a lot of personas. I wouldn't really say he has a split personality per se, but I guess you could argue that. Anyway. So yeah, Rodger himself is a very fascinating character because he's so unique because not only is he an alien, but he's also an alien that's become accustomed to Earth since apparently he's been there for a while. He crash landed on Earth like apparently in the 50s, I think. Something like that. Right, or was it the 40s? I think in the show they said that he actually crash landed in the 40s, something like that. But then later, in another part of the show, they basically said he crash landed during the 18th century, I believe. So, yeah, who knows? Right. Anyway, Rodger's been on Earth for a long time, and by now he's gotten used to Earth, which is why he knows so much about Earth. But at the same time, he doesn't necessarily know everything about Earth. So, yeah. But to compare him to people like Stewie, for instance, he's already very different from Stewie, because I find Stewie to be a fairly annoying character in Family Guy, but in American Dad, um, in American Dad, in my opinion, Rodger's not as annoying as Stewie until like season 6 or 7. Rodger doesn't start becoming more annoying until like the later seasons. Um, and that's actually one of the problems I have with Rodger. In the show, they just use him whenever. Right. There are specific episodes where they don't really need him, but they have him there anyway just because. Because at this point, he's a fan favorite, and he's in every episode. Even if he doesn't really have much to contribute, even if he's like the most annoying character in the episode, even if he doesn't even really have a reason for being there, he's still there. And that's one of the biggest problems that I have with Rodger, the fact that he's always in the later seasons of certain episodes, even when he doesn't necessarily need to be there. I say that's one of my biggest problems, but there's also the fact that Rodger has just become so annoying with his constant one-liners and outdated references and all that. He's just not a fun character to watch anymore, in my opinion. If you think differently, then honestly, that's fine. I haven't watched American Dad in a while, and I'm thinking about going back, but I don't remember Rodger being a very fun character the last time I watched, and I don't hate him, I just find him to be very annoying. I don't find him to be insufferable, I just find him to be, I don't know, kind of monotonous now, because he does the same thing in every episode. Before it was charming, now it's just, really? This is what you're gonna do? Haven't you done this in every episode? Can't you do something different? And that's my biggest problem. Rodger needs a change, not a major, drastic change that'll impact the whole show, of course, just a change that'll make his character less annoying and less monotonous to watch. Maybe have someone come up with new ideas for the character. Have the character mostly be the same, but have him slightly different. That'd be a great idea. You could definitely have those writers do something. They could come up with some really cool ideas for Rodger. Heck, maybe he actually tries to go back to his home planet and realizes that he loves Earth so much and he'd rather just go back. You could actually do a whole story around that. That would be very interesting if they did that, but oh well. But yeah, I still do think that Rodger's a very unique, very interesting character. There aren't really many characters in fiction that are like him. Only a few characters. I guess you could say Bugs Bunny because he's kind of like a Looney Tunes character or a Tom and Jerry character. He's very wacky and very zany and very just unpredictable. But if you like Rodger, and if you still like Rodger, and if you don't find him annoying, then honestly that's good. If you think I'm wrong, then please tell me in the comment section down below. My social media information will also be down there. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Please show some support and make this channel much bigger. Please do. I'll be making more videos like this in the future. So, yeah. Real King, signing out.